Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Penny, and today I wanted to share with you these Paper Studio flowers that you can pick up at Hobby Lobby. Have you seen these before? I had never seen these, and so when I saw them online, I was like, I have to try these and check them out. There are just so many different black and white images of different kinds of flowers, and there's like some even that are weeds and berries too. The paper is pretty thick, and while it doesn't say if it's Copic friendly or water paint friendly, I have found that it actually works well for both. It's very reasonably priced as well. You get 50 images for $3.99, and the Paper Studio goes on sale quite often at Hobby Lobby, which means you get even a better deal. I have some gorgeous paper here from Crafty Critta. It's absolutely stunning. It's got just beautiful images of gold. And so I'm showing you a few of the cards that I made using some of that gorgeous paper and just adding some whites and golds. And so that's kind of my idea here. I wanted to watercolor this with these metallic paints and then use some of the beautiful Crafty Critta paper along with that so that it would really allow the paper to shine a lot, but also give a nice center focal piece here with the floral image. And so I've already laid a couple layers down of some of the orange and yellows onto my flower, and now I'm using kind of the darker coppery color just to give it some more shading. And you know, it's not as easy, I don't think, with these kinds of watercolors to get shading, especially on this paper because it's not watercolor paper, but it is definitely thick enough and heavy enough to handle some of that wetness without getting all warped and getting where it's thin or is going to rip through the paper at all. Thinking this is going along pretty well, and then I do this. Yeah, a big old blob in the center of my flower. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I maybe thought I had a different color. Anyway, so I ended up getting some just water, extra water, and some wiping it off with my paintbrush. Like I'm scooping up as much of the paint as I can with my paintbrush and wiping it off my metal, and just without any extra colors on there. And then once I get a lot of that wiped off, then I go back and use some of that to highlight those little stems inside the flower. Stamens, is that what they're called? I should know this from science class. And so I'm using now more of that orangey copper color to just kind of draw it out a little bit more and give it some more definition in that bigger flower. And now I am pretty much done painting the florals, and I'm going to go ahead and just add some color to the leaves. With this paint set I have, there's not as many greens as there are some of the other colors, so I only have a couple real greenish colors, and so I end up using kind of a blue-green, and I don't love it, but you know, I just thought I was trying to get that shading or lighter color in there, and I wish I maybe would have just used the one green and just gone a little bit heavy-handed in areas where I wanted to be more dark rather than using a different shade of the green with the blues in it. It wasn't my favorite when I got done with that, but that's okay. We're learning as we go. And then I'm just using the reddish color to just add some little touches to these extra little flowers on the side. I didn't want to leave them just black and white. And, you know, I'm not exactly happy with everything the way it turned out, but I do like it. I think it turned out pretty well, and love how the paper held up. It held up really well. So I'm trying to add some little gold to some of these additional little flowers, and my little Sharpie pen was just not cooperating. So I just squirted a bunch out, and then I'm just using a paintbrush to use some of that gold on some of the areas on my floral that I wanted to give a little shine to. I'm going to use this frame set from Pink Fresh Studios. One of the frames cuts it out, and the other frame kind of puts these little decorative notches in it. You can use it with or without the notches, and you can also use it in different ways where you want the notches inside or outside the cut. So it's kind of an interesting set. I got it in a creative workshop I was in last year, and I don't use it super often, but I do like that it's an option that I have, and I thought it was appropriate here. And I'm trying to get a lot of that gold and kind of orangey colors from the paper, so that's why I'm choosing it to use it in that particular corner, because I want those colors to really shine with what I'm doing here. And then I got out some metallic spray, some homemade stuff to kind of add some more shimmer. It really didn't give as much shine as I was hoping. And I decided to pull out this Copic marker to kind of brush around the edges. It's a green, so it's the very light green, not the very light blue, which normally we would tend to use. But I wanted to kind of color up the white a little bit so it kind of wasn't so stark. And here I just wanted to show you how it works with Copic colors. So it does handle the Copic colors well. Not a lot of bleeding or anything, but it doesn't blend super well. So there is more of a defined line on this paper, so it's not that great for blending, but Copic colors will work on these as well. And I've also used my brother's Scan and Cut to cut the images out. The trick is that you really have to have it stuck to the cutting mat really well. Otherwise, the paper gets stuck and it starts to move around with the blade, and then that's just a hot mess. But I have used it on my brother's Scan and Cut successfully and trimmed that white area, because it is quite a bit more white area than I usually prefer on my images. Here I'm just using one of my gold frames that I have from one of my die cutting plates, and it just creates this frame. And I just wanted that gold kind of a little bit behind this main layer so that it really helps the gold pop, and it changes up the corners a little bit as well. And then I glue down another sheet of gold that I cut out from the center. And usually I don't use liquid glue. I think I did that because I knew that the floral was going to cover up most of it, so it wasn't a big deal. But generally I don't use liquid glue on my metallic paper, because you can usually see the glue through it. And then I'm going from my sentiment strips and just picking a sentiment that I want to use. This is a card for someone who has lost a loved one recently. And so You're in My Thoughts was appropriate. And then I'm just cutting one of these little strips for additional banner area, gold accent behind that. Just cut it in half and glue those behind, just so it looks like there's another banner behind it, and kind of helps add to that look there. And then my card here is pretty much done, other than adding a few pieces of gold bling. And I do play around with this quite a bit to figure out where I want these. I always have trouble figuring out where I would like these to lay down. I do usually go from one corner to the other corner, opposite corner. And I usually try to do these in about 3 or 5 numbers, just to keep the interest is more appealing, usually with the eyes, in a odd number. So I really like these rounded half circle ones, but they are a little bit more bulky. But because my flower is up on foam tape, I have some room to go ahead and use these more bulky embellishments. And my pickup stick is it picks up well, but it does not let go. It's horrible. Actually, it does not let go at all. So if you have suggestions for a pickup tool that actually lets go of what you're picking up, that would be great. I got this one just on Amazon because I just couldn't decide who to buy one from. And it just works some of the time, but not all the others. So these are my final looks at my cards. I hope you enjoyed this video. It would be surely appreciated if you would decide to subscribe and come back again very soon. Bye-bye.